Boom! So, Protector Symposium 4.0, Mike Pannone, man, talk about training with a living legend. He taught us how to deal with gunfights in parking lots and in areas in and around vehicles. So learning how to gunfight in an area where there's lots of vehicles, what do we know about that? If you watch any of my tactical protection reviews, you see that like 90% of these situations that take place are happening around vehicles in transitional spaces, right? So this is like one of the most probable places that you could find yourself in a force-on-force encounter with an adversary. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to really cover it. Mike came in his usual fashion, and he gave an amazing presentation and was just up there sacrificing sacred cows. I mean, just everything from, you know, hey, if you ever have to shoot out a window, shoot through the same hole.
Who's heard that one? Just shoot a bunch of, shoot a hole through the glass and shoot through it, right? Have we heard that? If you're out in front of my vehicle and I line you up, I start shooting it, you're just gonna stand there and like, wow, I hope he doesn't get through the windshield. Nobody stands around waiting for the kinetic energy to arrive. If someone is running across a windshield, what are you doing? You're shooting clean glass every time. So every single bullet you fire is degraded the exact same amount at a slightly different angle.
I mean, the reality is the person's gonna move, so how many times do you think you're gonna be able to shoot through the same hole? I don't know. But for guys who have done it, you know, to hear Mike's take on all the things that we constantly see being taught in the space and hear being taught in the space, and they get parroted back by well-meaning protectors and instructors who haven't actually done it, to hear his assessment on those things was so stinking valuable on Friday. So that's why you've got to go to protectornation.com and download the talk. You can see his presentation as well as all the rest of the instructors' presentations. Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, Craig Douglas, Tony Seminot of Real World Tactical, Steve Somerville. They're all there waiting for you to download and check out and watch and take in. Mike Pannone's presentation, though, was very paradigm shifting. You know, it changed the way you even thought about getting into a gunfight around a vehicle. When we went to the field with him on Friday and on Saturday and Sunday, his demonstration, he started his period of instruction off with a demonstration to show you what survivability from inside of a vehicle really could look like if someone started the fight outside of the vehicle. During that demo, he even showed us, you know, what if you started the gunfight outside of the vehicle? You go ahead and start shooting, the other person starts shooting, and let's see what your survivability looks like, and your speed and ability to get out of the vehicle, get rounds on target. Get rounds on target from inside there. Like we played with it. So each and every one of us got a chance to actually see, like taste the magic and see what our survivability would be actually choosing to fight from inside a vehicle. And let me tell you something, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in our the gunfighting industry, in our training out there in the game, it briefs well. It looks really cool on Instagram, but unfortunately a lot of it can get you killed. So, you know, taking courses by these instructors that I'm bringing to the symposium, to the Protector Symposium, it's your chance to learn from people who train the agencies. It's your chance to learn from people who actually train folks who take care of people and actually have to do this for a living. There's no cool guy stuff. There's no participation trophies at the end where you just get your certificate whether you passed or failed or actually can do the thing you were taught to do or not. That's not what we're about here. So we bring in a pedigree of folks, of instructors who can really get you the type of training you and your family are gonna need if you ever have to lean on that training to survive, right? You know, it's not, you haven't arrived when you complete that. You've found a starting point, right? So training is exposure to tactics. But the way Mike Pannone explains everything,
you have to understand that there are a whole host of mitigating factors that will affect your performance in the conduct of that task. Okay? So it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's one size fits you and one size fits you.
Yep.
And they may not be the same thing. You may have to do something completely different because you're a bit thicker than your girl.
Yeah,
so is what it is. Okay.
Personal.
I meant that with all the love of my heart.
Yeah. I've been thick all my life.
I'm down with the thickness.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so
and the experience he has to marry up with the intelligence he has is a combination that you just don't see really much anywhere in life, let alone in the firearms industry. You know, he's not just a a guy with a tab or a special forces guy that was like, I'm gonna do a training company. Mike Pannone's so much more than that. He's an elite instructor as well as an elite lifelong warrior, right? Who will go to the shooting range right now and smoke check 90% of the instructors in the industry, and he's got one eye. It's just what he does. It's what I promise you, follow him. Go check it out for yourself. You know, he'll shoot with you at the next shooting competition. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. I call him Cash Money Mike. Show me the money, prove it. He's one of those guys. So, and I love that about him, man, because there's no fluff. He's the real deal, and that's what I really respect about this guy. So Mike took us from the auditorium where he really gave a great explanation and explained so many things to us on the spectrum of vehicle-centric fighting. His presentation was dynamic, ridiculously informative, and then we went to the field, and in the field he started with a demo that just really crushed a lot of our ideas, hopes, and dreams, like learning Santa Claus didn't exist, about what it really takes to survive the beginning of a gunfight. If you do decide to stay in a car, you hear me talk all the time about how your car is your greatest weapon if it's moving. If it's not moving, it's a coffin. That's something I got from AS3 and Pablo Monasterio. So then we started to learn what parts of the vehicle offer cover and what parts of the vehicle really offer concealment. So relative to your body and relative to your mobility and relative to the situation, you know, what can you really use to try to keep yourself safe from incoming ammunition, from incoming rounds while you're in that gunfight? You need to know those things. And then we really truthfully assess those things, and out comes this concept in reality that, once again, movement is life. So how do you move around these vehicles? How do you flow around these vehicles? Can you flow with a partner? This is what we really started spending a lot of the time doing, is learning how to move around the vehicles, what you can use around the vehicles for cover and what you can use around the vehicles for concealment. And then once you learn how to flow, that's the ultimate piece, because movement really is life.
Soft targeting, the first three are find, fix, and finish. If I can find you and fix you in a location, it's just a matter of time before I finish you. If I can make you stay there, eventually, even if I suck, eventually I'll come up with a solution that's lethal to you. If I'm good, it'll happen fast. If I can hold you in place, then I have the flexibility and the latitude to move anywhere I want. Eventually I'll get you.
He talks about the basic principles of gunfighting and how they actually apply to gunfights around vehicles, and really how significant or insignificant fighting around vehicles really is, like how it should change your tactics, how it shouldn't change your tactics. So if you're in law enforcement, if you're a military person, if you're a civilian, you know, I know civilians that have gotten in firefights in parking lots, because that's where a lot of this stuff happens. Recognize the beauty and the importance and the art of having an instructor who can teach you how to fight in a battle space you very well might find yourself having to deal with on any given day. Professional protectors like me, same thing. Go and check out Mike's presentation on gunfighting around vehicles. I'm pretty sure, I guarantee, it's going to break a lot of the prior programming we have about this topic. It's a really cool topic, it's a really sexy topic, but it's got some practical applications and principles that simply can't be ignored. And who better to bring it to us than Mike Pannone, and the pedigree that he comes from, you know, with the background in Recon and Delta Force and the Air Marshals, and so on and on and on the list goes, teaching agencies at the top of the game in our United States and around the world. He's the man I want to learn from, and I've seen him work, so I know he's one of the best. We actually got to run through some vehicles together, and we were in a nice flow, and it was like a highlight of my life. I was like, I'm flowing with Mike Pannone right now, you know. Anyways, whatever. We had an amazing time. You can still be a part of it. Download the instant replay, get your digital ticket to the Protector Symposium 4.0, watch Mike Pannone and the other handful of instructors, elite instructors we have there. Take your protection game to the next level. Let's make the world a safer place by helping good people to become more dangerous. This is Byron Rogers, protector by nature and by trade. I'll see y'all on the next piece of content out there on the field in the big game. Out.